everybody, welcome to week 6. This week we're going to be talking about things like wellness and well-being. Oh, there's so many things we could discuss on this topic. Sometimes we get very caught up in our wellness and well-being, just trying to balance work, school, family. One thing we need to keep in mind is our spirituality. And maybe that is through traditional church services, maybe it's through reading your Bible, maybe it's studying some other writings, maybe it's things like yoga classes, maybe it's things like being out in nature as much as you can. Whatever spirituality means to you, I hope that you're able, even during this crazy course, to be able to keep that connection to spirituality in whatever way whatever that means to you, so that you can maintain some life balance. So in a previous week, we had already talked about kind of an aspect of this when we talked about incivility, including in the classroom. So I'm going to throw out one other topic for you guys to respond to besides the wellness and well-being, and that is something that I think still today divides the nursing profession, and that is minimum entry into practice. So we do have the ADN, the BSN. Most of the 3-year diploma schools have closed. I myself was a diploma graduate, so I did the diploma, BSN, MN, EDD, kind of that route. And I actually thought I received a wonderful education in that diploma program. But while I do believe that BSN is really going to be needed to be at the bedside, there's just so much. Things are so complex. I have also taught in ADN programs, and it is amazing how much education is actually included. Typically, the first part of your education, you're just getting your gen eds prereqs out of the way. And then you spend 2 full years in an ADN program just on your nursing courses. So it's not as, now that's in like a state college or something like that. So there's not as huge a divide between the AD and BSN as some people might think, but that does depend on the school. So I think this is something that we're going to have to continue to talk as a profession, because there are individuals who, one, can't afford to start off with a baccalaureate degree. Some programs require you to go full-time, take particular courses. Single moms, folks that need to work their way through school, that doesn't work out particularly well with them. There tends to be somewhat less flexibility in a BSN pre-licensure program. So finances, time commitment, non-traditional students, I think those are some of the draws to the traditional ADN program, like at a community college. And then you've also got the for-profits, which tend to be accelerated. And so if individuals are looking at how long do I need to juggle family responsibilities and work responsibilities and that sort of thing with school, if I can get it done in a shorter period of time and be out earning an income and supporting my family, then that's the way those people are going to want to go. So I think there are still pros and cons to be considered between ADN and BSN programs. So I'd like to have that discussion in the classroom. What are your thoughts? Especially if any of you had started out in some place other than the BSN as your first entry into practice. And I'd like to see what you're seeing maybe in the clinical arena between ADN and BSN grads. So I'd just like to have a little discussion about that, and maybe what you would propose to kind of resolve this dilemma. Because if today we were just cutting off ADNs and saying, go forth BSN, we do not have enough BSN programs, we do not have enough BSN faculty, and our nursing shortage would be significantly worse. So there definitely has to be some stepwise approach, but I'd really be interested in hearing what you think about this whole solution. I think some of you may have mentioned things like You maybe have some nurses in your work setting who are maybe a little bit older, and even though they might get tuition reimbursement, still don't want to go back to school. How do we deal with those individuals? How much further, if we're going to make BSN the entry, what do we do about grandfathering? So there's just a lot of things to consider, and I'd really like to hear your thoughts about those now that you are going to be educators, whether in academia or dealing with those new grads when they come into your hospital orientation. So, I am still in Hawaii, still enjoying myself immensely. I will be back in Salt Lake City on Sunday, so I'll be back in the Mountain Time Zone again, if any of you need to call me. And I am just really enjoying getting to know all of you as a group and individually, and it's really fun working with you. So I'll see you in the main forum.